in a culture where it will be very unpopular if the WNBA does what you're saying, how probable is that?
It'll be unpopular if the WNBA folds. Unpopular to who? To the large majority of the... I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we're going to talk about the WNBA owners versus the WNBA Players Association and the players. Man, I heard something this morning and I was like, whoa. Okay, that's news. That's news. We got two things. We've got David Sampson, who is a very well-known, well-respected businessman. He was the Miami Marlins president for like 16 years in Major League Baseball. He has a business sports show with the former CEO of ESPN, John Skipper. And he was on the Dan Le Batard show, and guess what? They were talking about the WNBA, all right? And, of course, we found out yesterday afternoon the WNBA Players Association voted to authorize a potential strike. In other words, they could now strike at any time. We have also found out that the WNBA owners have a new offer on the table. And I got to tell you, if the players don't take this offer, they're idiots. They're idiots. There's no excuses. Because by the time you get to the final year of this offer, the final year of this deal that's on the table, the max players are making what you're making in Project B, $2 million. And the minimum salary, we're talking, I mean, this is more than fair. But if it is truly the revenue sharing angle the players want, before we get to the specifics of what has been offered, if it is truly the revenue sharing part that the players want, David Sampson said players are not going to get it and the owners will end the WNBA.
Really trying to get a landing spot for tons of issues, not just housing or minimums or tagging a percentage of revenue.
If the players are not going to move on a revenue split versus derive revenue share off of a fixed number, what is your opinion on what happens?
Maybe the end of the WNBA. The players will move. There's not going to be a fixed number. It doesn't make sense to me for the WNBA to demand that, for the players to demand that right now. I understand. The biggest thing they did wrong, they said this is their moment. And so they've put a lot of pressure on themselves to make huge changes in the collective bargaining agreement because this is their moment. What you try to do is make incremental benefits through the course of multiple agreements.
That's exactly what your boy said. Me. They're trying to go for too much at one time, especially involving a league that's never turned a profit. Get your salary increase and then revisit in 3 years after the owners have actually put a profit in their pockets for the first time because of your media rights deal. Let the owners actually make some money. Because he makes it real clear, like if you listen to this whole thing, he makes it very clear the owners want to be paid back for all the money they've lost over the years. And I don't blame them. It's debt.
And so I don't think they should have gone for everything they're going for right now because they put themselves in a corner where they feel like they have to get it or it's like a major loss.
What did you say on the front end of this?
He said the end of the WNBA.
What are you saying is going to happen if...
let's be clear, Dan. People are not talking about this enough. We talked about it on the sporting class. And obviously, you know, John Skipper's involvement in Unrivaled. But you also have talked about what Project B is. You understand there are players who are getting paid multi-millions of dollars to go play in another league in another country. This is the moment. If you had any ability to invest and you wanted to start a league to compete with the WNBA, this is the time. Every player is a free agent. All of them want money and need money. If you have a well-capitalized and well-funded business, the way Project B may be, that could be the end of the WNBA. And I promise you that Adam Silver is thinking about that, and the players are thinking about that.
How real is that? How real is what you're saying? How real is it to be possible, the idea that because you're meeting a moment where profound asks are being made of a business by a group that has never been stronger than it is right now about asking for money, in a culture where it will be very unpopular if the WNBA does what you're saying, how probable is that?
It'll be unpopular if the WNBA folds. Unpopular to who? To the large majority of the... I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Okay, we're just going to stop it right there. He's got a great point. Unpopular to what? Even with all the new fans, 2.5 million people? If they're gone tomorrow, 2.5 million people. And that's on the very high end, right? He's got a point. This is crazy. They better be careful. This is the latest offer. All right, from the league. The league's most recent offer would guarantee a maximum base salary of $1 million in 2026 that could reach $1.3 million through revenue sharing. That's up from the current $249,000 and could grow to nearly $2 million over the life of the agreement. A person with knowledge of negotiations told the AP the average salary in 2026 would be more than $530,000, up from its current $120,000, and grow to $770,000 over the life of the agreement. The minimum salary would be $250,000. So that's what's on the table right now. Now, it's still, I know they mentioned revenue sharing in there. You've got to be very careful. There's the revenue sharing the players want, which is like the NBA. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. He said, Adam Silver, that's not going to happen. And if that's what the league want, the players want, the WNBA is over. It's finished. They will not get that. They will not get it because it's not financially viable. You just fold the league because the league's not going to make it then, and everybody moves on to whatever other league they want to. And then there's the revenue sharing that's based on if you turn a profit, then you get blah, 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 and it's based on different criteria. The revenue sharing, the league is actually willing to give. The owners are actually willing to give. David Sampson's a real smart business guy. And he just said, this be the end. Because the NBA owners, aka the WNBA owners, and Adam Silver not going to play this game with the WNBA. And you heard him. He was like, the players are going to cave on this. And maybe this perceived move for a strike is like, oh, look at us. We're really strong. We really tried, but we're going to go ahead and take this deal. You know, because they ain't got a choice but to take the deal or go out of business. One of the two. Wow. That is a very good... I used to watch the Dan Le Batard show all the time. Pre-2020. Pre-2020, Dan Le Batard show, I watched it. I actually consumed the podcast version of it daily for years and years and years. And Stugatz. And then in 2020, Dan Le Batard went ridiculously into politics, and it almost wasn't even a sports show anymore, and now I just never consume it. I didn't even know they were still talking actual sports on there. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.